Well, welcome to Riding Japan, trying something different. As you can see here, I am riding I'm riding the KTM, and even though that recent vote that I put up on YouTube asking which bike you want to see showed the KTM was on last place, I still decided to do a little video of some old footage that I have. The footage is a couple of years old. It's probably the first year that I owned the bike, and unfortunately I do not have a camera on my helmet. I've used two tripods with two of my cameras, and there on that day I decided to do some practice laps, and as you can see I'm trying to do full lock turns. I'm also trying to stand up, and I've been trying to do some bunny hops on the KTM, especially while standing up. I want to say I had a lot of aspirations that day. I thought, like a lot of you people, if I put something up, they give some advice, as in, you have to do this, you should do this, you should try this, which is, I understand that you mean well, but watching the videos of other YouTubers like Barry from Cross Training, etc., I know everything that I'm supposed to do, I guess, but it's very difficult to put it into practice, if you know what I mean. So looking at the video now, I can probably tell you I should be sitting further back and all this kind of stuff. I'm not really dropping the clutch. I'm trying to kind of get the front up, power wheelie style type. I guess I just did a little jump cut. It seems like I had to adjust something. I think I adjusted the clutch lever, turned it further down because it was kind of difficult to pull while standing up, I think. I'm trying to get used to a lot of things that I learned on YouTube that day, and I tried to, get the front up, drive very slowly, do short turns. I've done that a couple of times. If you're wondering, in the background, that orange type building is actually my apartment building, and I do live across from my parents-in-law, and this is practically their parking lot. The house is on the left, the garage where the bike usually is in the back there, and I'm abusing the parking lot. And I can tell you that, spoiler alert, I do fall on my ass at the end of the video, so you can either watch the whole thing or you can jump ahead and what am I doing here? Or you can jump ahead and and watch the fall. Maybe you will find your way back to where you start skipping. So it takes a lot of getting used to. If you've ever done something like this, I think Shade Tree Surgeon is a very big inspiration for me. He's come such a long way. He's tried so hard and has struggled and kept going, and he's how should I say that, progressed quite a lot. And looking at the footage here from a couple of years ago, where I just got the bike and basically what I'm capable of at the moment, I don't think I've changed much, but I've been touching the KTM like 5 times last year tops. And as I mentioned, because I fell on my ass, I stopped riding around the parking lot in my in-laws place. They did not like that. My mother-in-law, she watched me fall and she was really angry with me, I think. I didn't hit the car, but another meter or so, I think I would have hit the car, but you probably see that at the end yourself. The one thing that I am always surprised riding the KTM is how like you watch the videos and you think, oh, this is easy, you should do this, and once you're on the bike, everything is completely different. I mean, even now you can see I'm trying to spread my legs a bit and try to move the bike more. It looks so ridiculous on the camera, but when you're standing on the bike, it feels very far up, and I do not like heights very much. And also I'm so far away from an actual full lock turn, if you know what I mean, looking at how tight the circles are. They're super big, but I remember, and I've done this a couple of times since, I haven't always filmed it, but this is probably the first video. It feels so different, like while sitting on the bike or standing on the bike, and what your expectation is. Like the expectation versus the actual outcome is always so different. So full lock turns, maybe even almost standing. Like the friend that I went to this off-road park, he did a lot of these, that was, one more time. The friend I rode with on the off-road park, he would like do a full lock turn, and he would kind of stop and balance the bike, and just before tipping point release the clutch and have the bike roll a little further, and he would never actually put the foot down. And I really wanted to try this stuff, and I really wanted to kind of learn. That black car showing up over there, that isn't any of my in-laws cars. They're like friends or something, so I'm not gonna bother blurring the plate, I guess. They were just visiting. It's so rare that people who don't belong drive on that parking lot. That's why I decided to ride there. As you can see, the bike doesn't have a license plate yet, so the video is actually quite old. So I'm trying to spread my legs, go as slow as I can, and it is hot. It is probably 30 degrees easily. Full humidity summer. I was sweating like a pig, and it was actually a lot of fun. I should do this kind of stuff a lot more often. The biggest problem I have with riding the KTM is that I have to bring it so far before I can actually do anything. So that was actually my father-in-law walking out. I think they went hiking, and his friend dropped him off or something. So I just cut till after the car left, and that was the first successful little bunny hop, but unfortunately it's sitting down. I seem to kind of like change my strategy. Like I try something, I do something, and then I do something else because I get tired or my muscle starts to hurt, and it's actually quite funny. I have recently recorded something. I was in Oktama for a couple of hours, and at the end of the day I went up a short gravel road on the mountain, up and down, and I tried standing up more and more, and standing up and standing up, and that was really tough. A little goal that I have over the 2 months that I'm going to visit my parents is to actually get the weight down again, maybe walk out a little more. I will have a lot of free time, so something needs to progress, something needs to change. I need to lose the weight again to put the leathers on. That's going to be a... Hey, that was a nice hop. Like leaning back, getting a little swing, compressing the suspension and stalling the bike. But standing up is really scary. If you're thinking about protection, even though wow, that was scary. Even though I am wearing these short type jeans, I am wearing Under Armour, and my ass is actually not that fat. I'm wearing an Alpine Stars Under Armour, which has hard shell across the tailbone and across the thighs on the left and right. That stuff is actually pretty heavy duty, so even though I fell a couple of times, I did not really get hurt. You can see I'm kind of switching back and forth between trying to wheelie sitting and trying to do it standing up, and the main thing is that it seems easier sitting, but once I'm standing it isn't. Maybe I should probably lean back again, but as I mentioned before, it's a confidence thing, it's a muscle memory thing. It's scary, and honestly, like, I'm not sure, but maybe it's 20, 30 meter, 40 meter across that parking lot from edge to edge, and looking at the video it probably seems big, but it is actually much smaller looking at it from the perspective of the bike. Yeah, again, trying something new, trying to, stick the leg out, and there's kind of a small little path between the cars around the back, and I'm kind of like circling that because, I don't want to say I'm getting bored, but I'm just trying something different. And we're switching again. You're standing on the bike. Let me know what you think about this whole voice recorder thing, voice over thing, I should say. I can probably talk more fluently than I can usually do on the bike. Especially I can gather my thoughts better. But I don't think I've ever really done this kind of thing. But I have a bunch of footage. Yeah, that was trying a full lock turn again. I have a bunch of footage that I might be able to use talking about different topics. Personally, I don't like videos like this, if I may be honest with you, because, like Barry, the enduro training guy, I mean, most of his stuff seems scripted. I've never actually scripted anything, but it is probably an easy way. Oi, that was not a bad one. It is probably an easy way to use up some old footage, maybe for Wednesday videos or so. Actually, between you and me, looking at this and looking at what I've done just recently, last summer, these wheelies look a lot better than the ones I've done recently. So this is actually quite funny. I remember that I did maybe 1 or 2 other training sessions on the bike on this parking lot, as well as close or next to the other property that my in-laws have, which is practically, oh yeah, that was scary. I even put the foot off the brake. The whole cover your brake thing, I know about it, but it's muscle memory, right? It's getting scary and getting ready to ditch the bike type of thing. So I've done other little sessions, but I didn't film them, and I haven't done anything since that day. The biggest problem back then was I still didn't have the car, and my parents-in-law, let's maybe cut this part where I kind of go to the road, which I shouldn't because it doesn't have a license plate. But I had been using my parents-in-law's car, and the problem with the parents-in-law's car is that they have a little van, a K-truck, if you know what that is. I have to take the front wheel off, and taking the front wheel off is such a hassle, and the front wheel has to come off because the front has to drop down because the truck is too small or the van is too small. So I can put a tiny little 20 centimeter wheel on the front, and just a little bigger than the caliper and everything, so that the axle doesn't drag. And it is such a hassle to get the bike in, strap everything down, drive 1.5 hours to where I'm going, get the bike out, set the bike up. That takes like an hour. Putting your clothes on, start riding in the heat go back home, switch everything back, because the car has to be clean for the in-laws, and that was so much of a hassle. I thought that would be easier. Like, honestly speaking, I should have bought the car or figured out the car situation before I bought the bike. But I thought it would be easy to use it, and I asked them and they said no problem. But they sometimes use the car, and they honestly speaking, they bitched about me using the car. They're like, I need to use it at 8, you can have it after 8. But after 8 means that I don't have time to pack the car until they come back. So I start packing the car, and then I drive, it's almost 12, and then I have 2-3 hours to ride, and then I have to go home again. It's just bullshit. That was part of the big goal with the Hiace, to actually, what do I want to say? To actually have it easy, and to leave everything in the car and just jump in the car and be done with it. Now the big drop is about to come, I think. I hope I haven't misspoken, and I hope it isn't in another video. Come on, let's have a look. Fall on your ass. Yeah, I have to disappoint you guys. I can't believe I did that. It is in a different video. Well, thank you for watching this little thing, and thank you for always tuning in, and see you guys on another Wednesday video. Goodbye. Riding Japan out.